Gladiators of ancient Rome. What were they first and foremost? Warriors, easily going to certain death, or handsome, muscular men who attracted the gaze of women. A real and incredibly lucrative business was built around gladiator shows and battles in arenas. However, you probably had no idea that selling the sweat and blood of gladiators to rich women was just as much a separate kind of lucrative business, especially for the owners of arenas and gladiatorial schools who owned certain popular gladiators. The sweat of the most popular gladiators sold for a price equal to the value of a few sturdy slaves. Gladiatorial fights were one of the most colorful spectacles. The whole city gathered to watch them. Special comfortable places were equipped for the nobility. The poor were accommodated as best they could. Physically strong, courageous warriors, before entering the arena of fights, took the oath of a gladiator. Its essence was that any death a man must endure with honor. The owners of gladiators were rich Romans. They also paid trainers who monitored the physical fitness of the warriors and taught them the art of combat. Deadly fights were not just spectacular entertainment for the crowds. It was a very lucrative investment. And that is why the stereotype that every gladiatorial battle ended in death is wrong. Death was not at all favorable to the host, because the preparation of a new gladiator required a lot of effort, time, and money. Therefore, fights in the arena often represented a theatrical dramatization, where the warriors lightly touched each other with weapons and inflicted non-fatal wounds. Gladiators were satisfied with their craft. Winners of jousts were showered with coins. Favorites could receive a purse of gold as a gift from a nobleman. All the money earned remained in the personal property of the warrior. But the life of a gladiator was not limited to fights in the arena and hard training. In the first rows of spectators always sat the wives of patricians, who admired the almost naked bodies of men, slightly covered with armor. To the emotions arising from the contemplation of the bloody battle, there were other emotions. The women openly desired the gladiators and did not hide their feelings. Wives did not need to hide their passion from their husbands. Mores in ancient Rome were such that love affairs arose easily, and the judgment of society no one feared. Rich girls acted simply and surely. They bought the gladiator they liked and satisfied their desires. Prices were not uniform. The more popular the warrior was, the more expensive he was. There were also conflicts. When a handsome man was encroached upon by several ladies, the one who gave up the most gold won. And it was not uncommon even among women at the very top of Roman society. For example, Faustina the Younger, wife of Emperor Marcus Aurelius, fell in love with a famous gladiator who was considered undefeated, was young and very good-looking. There were rumors that it was this gladiator was the real father of the son of Faustina and Aurelius. It is also well known to historians that Valeria Messalina, the third wife of Emperor Claudius, had a huge number of connections with different gladiators. Once in the midst of a gladiatorial battle, she publicly intervened and stopped the fight to save the life of a defeated gladiator, her lover, from certain death. It was not uncommon for the dirt, blood, and sweat collected from the skin of great gladiators to be collected with an instrument called a strigil and placed in special vials. These vials were then sold outside the arenas, and the main purchasers of these vials were wealthy Roman women. However, they didn't just buy gladiator sweat as a collector's item. Women believed that the jewelry, sweat, and blood of gladiators were capable of enhancing their physical and sexual health, and would make their future children just as strong and powerful. So when they bought vials of the sweat of a virile gladiator, they used this ingredient as a cream additive to improve the color and health of their skin. Often this sweat was mixed with olive oil to achieve a better consistency and added to their everyday cosmetics. Roman women also firmly believed that the sweat of gladiators was an effective aphrodisiac that could make them much more attractive to the opposite sex. But women bought not only sweat, as we have already said, but also different kinds of weapons that the gladiators could be hit with. For example, on the wedding day, some Roman brides divided the partings of their hair with the iron tip of a blood-stained spear with which a famous gladiator had been killed. This was believed to bring good luck in marriage. The blood of gladiators was also a popular commodity, especially for pregnant women. They mixed the blood with wine or grape juice before drinking it because they truly believed it would give their child the good health, strength, and spirit of an undefeated gladiator. Gladiators were slender, tall, strong, and virile men, and they were quite deservedly favorites of ladies. Knowing what guys were gladiators, ladies chose them as their guards is not a bad move. Such a decision was made by many elite ladies in ancient Rome. This honor was mostly done by retired or very well-trained warriors out of service. It was a lucrative business that made sense to the respectable people they were guarding. Given that we're talking about the sex life of gladiators on this occasion, it's clear that wealthy Roman ladies chose them not only to. In those days, ladies wanted gladiators to protect their bodies, which meant having sex with them. For all the reasons already mentioned, women paid enviable sums of money. Gladiators, who were free men, could sometimes express a desire to choose a particular lady for themselves. Warrior slaves had no such privileges. They were obliged to fulfill the will of the Roman woman who paid for them. The popularity of warriors who fought in the arena was very great. Girls from poorer classes could not buy a seductive man to please them, but the right to dream and daydream at night could not be taken away from them. Many fantasies they captured on frescoes, where they depicted imaginary intimacy with their loved ones. A strong, tough, well-built warrior who despises death on the one hand, and a man who fulfills women's desires for money on the other. A man who fights in the arena as a completion, and he is also a man who sells himself for a bag of gold. Gladiators enjoyed immense popularity, which today can be compared to some of the greatest athletes of this time. Their lives did not last long, but it was very turbulent, permeated with enviable sexual activity. You had the opportunity to find out how much the rich Roman ladies loved gladiators and what they liked to do to them. Some details of their sex life were, from a modern point of view, very strange, but still normal for that era when gladiators fought for their lives every day. Such contradictions and paradoxes existed in ancient Rome. Friends, subscribe to the channel, put likes, and share this video with your friends. See you soon.